I was upset about a story this week, and I'm just going to read
Please.
part of it. So, new details have emerged about illegal immigrants, including killers tied to 29 homicides, who've been released onto the streets of New York because of New York's sanctuary city laws. The violent rogues gallery includes the likes of Cuban national and convicted killer Jose Antonio Quezada, an illegal alien with a criminal history involving homicide, larceny, disorderly conduct, possession of stolen property, drugs, burglary, trespassing, and assault. He was released from Rikers Island only to be picked up again on a parole violation, with ICE promptly putting a detainer on him on August 16th. Another is Anastasio Tejada Almonte, a criminal Dominican national with a rap sheet that included homicide, assault, illegally carrying a weapon, and flight to avoid prosecution. Despite ICE detainers being lodged in May, he was released from the New York Department of Corrections on July 27th. These men are just two of the 6,947 criminals released from New York jails in the past year, despite having active ICE detainers requesting they be handed over to immigration authorities for deportation. 7,000 criminals were released from New York jails who had ICE detainers for final deportation.
Sorry, I just need to make sure that I understand this clearly. So that means that New York local law enforcement knew that ICE had detainers out for these people, chose to ignore it and let them go? Or was it a clerical error, or do we not know?
They're not allowed to because of New York sanctuary city policies. As somebody who spent a lot of time in New York, I can tell you the NYPD, the rank and file of the NYPD, is not happy about sanctuary city policies that don't allow them to.
Oh, I've heard the same stories personally from LAPD officers out here that they don't buy any of the shit. They want the same thing with like policies towards homeless people and camping laws and stuff. They want to bust people, but they can't.
The killers were cut loose, and many others have 9 toes out the door rather than being removed from the country, in accordance with the city and state sanctuary policies, which limit how much local law enforcement is allowed to cooperate with federal agencies. The terrifying list includes Alex Jareth Martinez Avila, an illegal migrant from Honduras, who racked up a laundry list of criminal charges including assault, possession of stolen property, unauthorized use of a vehicle, fraud, trespassing, possession of burglary tools. They've got all the mugshots in here. An ICE detainer placed on him in May didn't stop Queens Central Booking from letting him go, which ended up costing someone their life. Motherfucker went out and killed somebody. Martinez Avila remained at large until he was rearrested for homicide and robbery. He was still in custody, and ICE lodged a new arrest detainer for him on September 22nd.
It seems like a problem.
In spite of its efforts, criminals such as Ecuadorian national Luis Franklin Tanas Yabadabadu, whose charges included public order and obstruction, was released from custody after local authorities ignored an ICE detainer lodged on August 27th. He was arrested again in September for homicide, which ICE followed up with a fresh detainer 3 days later. Criminal migrant Mexican national William Alexander Paredes Vasquez committed numerous assaults and finally a homicide, but was released from custody in the face of an ICE detainer lodged on July 10th. Then there's Hector de Souza Villada, an illegal migrant from Venezuela who was charged with homicide, possession of weapons, dangerous drugs, public order crimes, assault, released from Rikers Island, even though Immigration and Customs Enforcement had put in a request he be released into their custody. Due to an abject lack of help from local agencies, ISIS had to do all the heavy lifting in tracking down and arresting these violent thugs to make sure that serial offenders are deported to their home countries, sometimes more than once, as they slither their way back across the border repeatedly. Violent maniacs like Jesus Romero Hernandez, who was removed from the United States an incredible 7 times before attacking an Ithaca cop with a machete, continue bobbing and weaving their way through the justice system, ending up on the streets to reoffend time and time again. Last month, ICE removed him from the country for the 8th fucking time.
8th time?
8th, for the 8th fucking time.
So, to paraphrase, ICE has detainers out which means, hey, law enforcement, if you catch these individuals, let us know because we need to deport them. In a nutshell, that's what that means, right?
Correct. And they don't
So,
do it.
because of sanctuary city laws, even if you wanted to do it as a local law enforcement officer in New York City, for instance, you're not allowed to.
Correct.
Okay, that's a problem. And from what I understand from fourth grade civics, which I look forward to the next time it's my time here because I can't wait to quiz you guys on these civics questions. Federal laws outweigh state laws, which would mean that they would also outweigh local laws. So that means there's got to be some kind of, I'm sure lawyers are going haywire on this stuff right now, and we'll figure it out in due course. But
Yeah, there'll be a
it
Supreme
seems
Court.
inherently so fucked up. Why?
The Supremacy Clause has been more or less precedent ever since the National Guard was sent in to stop George Wallace from blocking school door entrances.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that's insane, right? And then we're like watching all these protesters outside of all these ICE facilities, and I'm like, guys, you have rapists and murderers and killers, and narcotics dealers who are in the country for the second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth time, who've been deported and kept coming back and committing crimes, and you're out there screaming bloody murder that they're in an ICE facility separated from the public, who they've endangered since they got here. And that's infuriating to me. I'm like, the protesters aren't infuriating to me. I just laugh. I just like to mock them. I'm like not mad at them. Like they're too fucking stupid to be mad at. And yes, of course, in a big country when you're doing immigration enforcement for the first time, at least since the Obama administration, when the Obama administration deported somewhere
for the young protesters, it's the first time in their lives, their adult lives, that they've seen this ever happen. And any kind of pushback against open borders, essentially, right? But would you say it's incumbent upon these people to understand? So these people probably watch videos of ICE agents. They might see one or two videos of them in a Home Depot parking lot. Like, what's your, they say something like that. Nobody likes seeing those videos, right? But that is a world of difference between this story you just told. You're talking about ICE saying, this motherfucker's gonna kill people, give them to us. In New York saying, no, we're just going to let him free. That's what's happening, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And you hit the nail on the head, because that's precisely what happens. A viral video of an ICE agent pepper spraying somebody that got too close to a partition line. And then what's happening now, like it just happened the other day, some congresswoman got too close to ICE agents, and the video's really ambiguous. Well, not to me, it's not. And she's saying she got pepper sprayed. Like, if you keep advancing on ICE agents when they set up a line, like, don't go past this line. You can protest on the sidewalk, in the street. Here's where you can protest, and here's where you're getting too close to the building. Or here's where you're getting too close to the vehicles that we have illegal immigrants in the back seat of. Here's where you're getting, here's federal law enforcement officers enforcing federal law. And then you have these people that advance on them, then something goes viral where an ICE agent does something that looks provocative or looks like an overreaction, and there you have it.
But when they do this, they want that to happen. They want ICE to do something to get a video clip.
I forget which like high-profile Democrat said it, but they were like, "It's going to take one of us getting shot with a real bullet, before anything changes, right?" But you had that stupid senator. What's that fucking idiot senator out there? You got the one that rushed Kristi Noem at a press conference and got tackled. Yeah, right. So like all these politicians are doing. The one girl, Kat, who worked for Media Matters, who, she crossed the protest line and she got body slammed or whatever it was, or pepper sprayed, and they're attacking peaceful protesters.
Do you agree? Do you agree with me though that they want that to happen to them? Because
they absolutely want that to happen.
They're doing this to get that action, and then they're like, "Oh, why'd you?" It's the stop hitting yourself kind of bullshit. It's so stupid. I don't understand how even a protester who's basically brainwashed, how can they not see this? what's good? I mean, this goes back to things we've talked about 100 times. Spiritual meaning is given through their politics, so they don't want to see the truth. But
Yeah.
this is fucked. This is fucked. It's a fucked story, Mark. Sorry, it's fucked. People shouldn't be killed in the street because they're. They shouldn't. I don't know. I believe that what you're telling me is the truth, but it's hard to believe that law enforcement would let somebody go that's on a list from ISIS as this motherfucker is going to kill somebody. Crazy.